Welcome everybody to Intensity Broadcasting. My name's Josh Hall. This is the Morris Customs Truck Series, SCSRA Truck Series here from Auto Club Speedway on Intensity Broadcasting here on iRacing, getting ready for our final race before our final race of the season. Who's going to lock themselves into the Final Four at Phoenix? We know one driver that has already, and that is Devin Butchino, currently locked himself into the Phoenix race last week with his win. Eddie Morris, Blaze Richardson, David Wright, your top four. I know D. Wright will not be here tonight, so it's an opportunity for Jay Stinson, Matthew Fritz, and Ryan Gomes, or even Matthew Allen to race themselves in tonight. So your final four, nowhere's near decided as they run. Pretty much Eddie Morris is mathematically locked in. It's going to come down to Blaze Richardson on back. Well, thank you for joining us here tonight, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or over on Twitch. Do appreciate you tuning in tonight as we get ready for, again, our final race of the round of 8. So far, we've had 15 drivers enter the race, so it should be a pretty decent field. You see your playoff drivers on the left, highlighted in green. Of course, Devin Butchino highlighted in orange, as he is the only driver who is officially locked in to the race at Phoenix. So we got about 2.5 minutes left here. Practice is underway. Let's take a look at Auto Club Speedway. Of course, Auto Club is that traditional D-shaped 2-mile oval, sister track to Michigan International Raceway. But this track races a ton differently, especially because it's an older surface, not a lot of grip, a lot of bumps, especially down the backstretch. So look for that to really change the way the racing goes here tonight. These drivers are going to be fighting tire wear all night long, along with handling, so maybe a pretty interesting race here tonight at Auto Club Speedway. Of course, tomorrow night we will be going to the sister track of Michigan International Raceway for the Dev Sports Cards Next Gen Series. That's going to be over on Noma TV as they settle their top 4 for their final race at Las Vegas. So you got about 1 minute and 20 seconds left here in practice. We want to thank all of our great partners here on Intensity Broadcasting. Of course, check out our website over at intensitybroadcasting.com. Help support the channel. Pick yourself up a hat, a t-shirt, a coffee mug, a mouse pad. Not just of Intensity Broadcasting, we've also got league merchandise there as well. You can find SCSRA merchandise on our website as well. And you can pick up some of Atman Luis's gear as well. So check it out over. There's a link down below in the description. Of course, Race EPI for all your iRacing setups and coaching needs. Check out raceepi.com. Of course, our great partner over at Butt Kicker. Butt Kicker is an established and well-known leader in gaming haptics. The award-winning line of Butt Kicker products lets users feel low-frequency sounds. Their products are used and endorsed around the world by leading PC and console gamers, including professional sim racers. Patented design makes them incredibly accurate, powerful, and virtually indestructible. Check out the full line of Butt Kicker products over at their website at thebuttkicker.com. And finally, if you're looking for a great new paint job, check out our series sponsor. That is Morris Customs. Of course, you can check them out at the link below or find them on Facebook at Morris Customs on Facebook. Oh, looks like the checker flag has waved as we get ready to get qualifying underway. And who's going to be our first drivers to make their way out onto the racetrack for qualifying? It looks like that 8 of Eddie Morris, that Morris Customs machine, sitting there at the end of pit road. Doesn't look like he's going to roll off just yet. It looks like our first rolling truck will be the Plaza Pizza machine of Blaze Richardson. Drivers will have 10 minutes to get their 2 laps in here at Auto Club Speedway. And you'll notice as Blaze comes down this backstretch, look how much that truck's already bouncing around. And he's not even up to speed yet. Imagine how that's going to feel as these trucks approach almost 200 miles an hour down into the corner. Richardson going to take the green flag on his first of 2 laps. First driver to take the green flag. Now you really see that truck moving around as it gets up to speed. Using the high lane through 3 and 4, trying to get that truck wound up the best he can to get a good run down the front stretch. Going to dive that truck all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack. Not quite on the apron. Runs a 41.7 on his first lap. Ryan Merle Jr. goes 41.5. Joe Wright 41.7 as well. Matt Allen, who needs a good race here. So Allen, Richardson, both trying to lock themselves into the playoffs. Or, excuse me, lock themselves into Phoenix with a win here tonight, or at least a good enough finish to get themselves in a position to run for a championship next week at Phoenix. Richardson goes P1 with a 41.47. Now Joseph Wright jumps up to the top of the leaderboard. Here comes Rick Ward off of turn number 4. And down across the stripe. And Ward is going to stay in that 5th position. Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence off of turn number 4. Locked out of the playoffs here at Auto Club in the Truck Series, but still has a chance to make his way to Las Vegas tomorrow night in the Next Gen Series. Cheeseburger is going to jump up into the 4th position. Here's a 31 of Jay Stinson. Stinson again trying to get himself locked in to Phoenix next week. Stinson comes down across the stripe. Take the white flag on his qualifying attempt. Jumps up into the 6th position. As Matthew Fritz now jumps up to the 2nd position. Here comes Stinson off of turn number 4 down towards the stripe. And Jay is going to jump up to the pole momentarily. A couple drivers still trying to make their way around the racetrack. We see Matthew Fritz really hustling the truck. Wow, gets a really sideways off of turn number 4. Great car control as he gets his way down, all the way down to the apron to the stripe. But Fritz is not able to really improve. He improved his time, but not his position, as Ryan Gomes now jumps up into the 4th position. Another driver trying to get himself locked into Phoenix next week. The 90 of John Lynch now making his way out on the racetrack, along with Eddie Morris and Joey Hickok. So all 3 drivers working their way out onto the racetrack. As here comes a Lynch down into across the stripe and down to turn number 1. Again, another driver running that high line on their first lap, trying to get that truck wound up. As Jay Stinson is currently on the pole, Matthew Fritz, Ryan Gomes. So your top 4 drivers, playoff contenders, and Joseph Wright splitting the sandwich of Gomes and Richardson. And I very much expect Joe Wright to be a contender here tonight. He's usually really fast at the sister track of Michigan. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that 82 up at the front early and often. As Lynch really lets that truck rotate on the bottom through turns 1 and 2. See just how much that truck really slides around off of turn number 4 down to the stripe. And Lynch is going to jump up to the pole. Joey Hickox goes 10th. Here's Eddie Morris, who now he jumps up to the pole with a 14-19. Just one driver left to qualify. Actually 2. Brett Merle stuck into the server, but here's Devin Bucciano on his qualifying attempt. Bucciano comes down the backstretch towards turn number 3. Again, still running up in that high lane. Trying to get that momentum off the corner of turn number 4 to get that truck up to speed down to the white flag. Butch currently in the 11th position. Let's see if he's able to improve on his time as he's really hooking that white line through turns 1 and 2. Again, hooking that line through 3 and 4. You see that truck really sideways off of turn number 4. A little correction there. Trying to hold on to it as he's going to come down to the stripe. Where is Butch going to end up here? Not quite able to knock Eddie Morris off pole. With about a minute left here in qualifying, looks like Brett Merle's going to stay on pit road, not going to get a qualifying lap in. So as we get ready to grid them up here for our final race before our final race of the playoffs, before our final race of 4 next week at Phoenix. Of course, we've got the chat open, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, or over on Kick. We've got the chat open. Let us know who you're pulling for here tonight, who you think is going to be the final 4 going into Phoenix next week. As the starting grid's getting ready to populate here on my screen, and there you have it, your pole sitter tonight. The 8 of Eddie Morris, Devin Butchno roll off from P2 in the 68 machine. Then John O. Lynch and Jay Stinson, a couple Venom boys, in row number 2. Matt Allen rolls off from the 5th position, with Matthew Fritz to his outside in position number 6. Then Ryan Gomes and Joe Wright will make up row number 4. Blaze Richardson in the 33 rolls off from the 9th position, with Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence in the 10th spot. Then Brian Merle Jr. and Joey Hickox will make up row number 6. Row 7 will be Chuck Balance and Rick Ward, and Brett Merle will be the final starter here tonight at Auto Club Speedway. As the trucks sit stationary on pit road, we wait for everybody to grid up here as we get ready for what will be 85 laps with the stage on lap number 30. As the field sits stationary here, we want to again remind you to tune in tomorrow night over on Noma TV for the Dev Sports Cards Next Gen Series as they take on Michigan for their final race of the round of 8 to see who's going to move on to Las Vegas in the Dev Sports Cards Next Gen Series. Well, the pace truck's getting ready to roll off of pit road. Give us time for one more time to, again, thank all our great partners here in the race tonight, including Race EPI for all your iRacing setups and coaching needs. Visit raceepi.com. Intensity Broadcasting for IntensityBroadcasting.com. Come support the channel. Pick up some sweet merch over at IntensityBroadcasting.com. Morris Customs for all your iRacing paint needs. Check out Morris Customs on Facebook. Link down below in the description. Of course, Blue Ridge Auto Group. Their link is down below in the description as well. as our great partner over at Butt Kicker. For all your racing, sim, and gaming haptic needs, check out thebuttkicker.com. So what you can expect here tonight is a lot of drivers trying to save their equipment. This track is really tough on tires. It's tough on drivers. You'll see how wide this track is. They'll be able to run 3, 4, 5, even 6 wide at times without issue. As the field makes their way off of turn number 4 down to the starting zone. Green flag is in the air. And we are racing here at Auto Club as the field makes their way down towards turn 1 for the first time. Eddie Morris with a good jump down on that low side, but we see Lynch trying to force it 3 wide for a second. Now he's going to slap the track. That's going to give Lynch a look down to the inside. He's going to take it down to the inside as they come down the backstretch for the first time. Now Moore's going to fight back on that high lane. We come off of turn number 4. It's going to be a drag race down to the line, but it looks like Eddie Morris is going to have just a bit of an advantage. He's going to be able to clear Lynch down into turn number 1. Right behind that, we see Devin Butchino with Matt Allen to his outside. Allen trying to win his way to Phoenix. And mathematically, as long as Eddie Morris gets himself 5 points here at the stage, he will be mathematically locked in to Phoenix next week, as we already got some 3-wide racing. Joe Wright down the bottom, Matt Fritz in the middle, Blaze Richardson on the high side. Fritz had to get out of it to avoid contact. He's going to lose 3 or 4 positions here. The real winner in that exchange was Blaze Richardson up on the high side. He's able to move up into the 5th position as he pulls to the back bumper of Jay Stinson. Here comes Joe Wright with a run here on the back bumper of Richardson as he tries to give a little push down the backstretch. Richardson going to tuck in behind Devin Butchino. The draft in full effect here as the field makes their way down towards turn number 3. Oh, some contact between, that was Matt Allen and Jay Stinson. That allows Richardson to move down to the inside. Now move Blaze Richardson up into 4th. Look at the run that Joe Wright's got, though, on the back bumper of that 33 as they come off of turn number 2. Now he's going to take that run up to the high side and push the 31 of Stinson on by Richardson. Joe Wright using a little bit of a side draft there, trying to pull that 33 truck backwards. And these trucks are really unstable when they're side by side. It's really easy to suck the air right off the spoiler and send that truck on the inside looping around. So without even touching them, just the air coming off the truck. So Joe Wright making some moves early up into the 5th position as he's trying to battle with Jay Stinson for that 4th spot. Again, Joe Wright not in here trying to move himself to the playoffs. He's already been eliminated. He's just out here for pride and glory, trying to get himself a win. While all this is going on behind him, Eddie Morris continues to grow his lead as he is now over a second, almost a second ahead of John Lynch. Devin Butchino now trying to work the inside of Lynch, trying to get that side draft going to get himself around the 90, but 90 fighting back hard on the outside. Has a little bit of a push from the 31 Stinson as they make their way down into turn number 3. They're side by side, 2 rows deep behind Eddie Morris. Now they're starting to catch and reel Eddie Morris in. What was almost a second interval just a couple laps ago. Now Eddie Morris only has separated by John Lynch by 0.4 of a second. Devin Butchno down to the inside, trying to take that position away. Now we see Joe Wright fighting back in the middle now as they make it 3 wide. And oh, almost some contact, almost some more contact as Lynch almost got into Joe Wright there. Joe forced down to the bottom, but he's going to take over that second spot as Lynch tries to run a little side draft to get back to the quarter panel of Joe Wright, but Joe's going to clear the 90 machine and set his sights on the lead of Eddie Morris. Another driver who's showing some speed right now, that 47 of Cheeseburger Lawrence. He's looking down to the inside of Matt Allen, trying to take over the 6th position, and he will take that away. Here comes the 29 of Matthew Fritz now down to the inside with a big head of steam. Cheeseburger throws a big block on Allen. And here comes, I believe that's the 3 of Hickox down on the low side. Yes, that's Hickox giving a big push to the 29 of Fritz. Meanwhile, up front, Devin Butchino trying to challenge Eddie Morris for the lead. Battle continues up here at the front. As now Lynch giving a shove to Joe Wright down into turn number 3, and Wright trying to get the lead away from Eddie Morris, and off of turn number 4, Wright is going to take that lead away, but can he hold on to it as they come down to the stripe? And Joe Wright is going to lead that lap here at Auto Club. He's going to slide up in front of his teammates, and Neon Racing is now 1, 2, 3 as Devin Butchino continues to run the low side, try to get back around Joe Wright as they almost go 3 wide into turn number 1. Joe Wright out in front, Devin Butchino in second, Eddie Morris battling for third, but here comes Lynch back down to the inside, trying to take that position away. Gives a little shove to Butchino, who's going to have a run here on Joe Wright as they make their way down off of turn number 4. This time it looks like Butchino's going to have the run, but no, Joe's going to put the block down on the 68 machine. And now Joe and Devin run 1-2. Butchino trying to use that low line advantage, but Joe Wright able to keep that truck wound up on the high side to his advantage. He's going to hold on to that top spot for now. As our leaders continue to run side by side, with John Lynch trying to push somebody through to the lead, or maybe try to pull himself up to the lead as well. Eddie Morris falling back to the 4th position. Now Devin Butchino trying to get the run on the low side, but here comes Joe Wright back on the high side, as this time Butchino almost able to clear Joe Wright. Joe fighting hard on that high line, uses a little bit of a side draft there to keep himself ahead of Devin. This time though, it looks like Devin's going to be able to clear. No, he's not. Joe Wright still has that run up on the high side. Field makes their way down into turn number 3. You see already just how many different lines these drivers are running through the corner here. If you go on our static view here, you'll be able to see just how spread out these trucks are. You see some drivers running high, some drivers running low. Right on the white line, all the way up to the wall off of turn number 2. As we see the 90 trying to get around Butchino, who's fallen back into the 3rd position. Now John Lynch challenging Joe Wright for the lead as they come off of turn number 4, and Lynch got a little tight there behind the 82. That allows Devin Butchino a run, and here comes Stinson up the middle to try to move himself into 2nd by getting 2 for 1 into turn number 1. He makes that move stick, so move Jay Stinson up into the 2nd position. What a move. And he's going to want more. He's going to try to move himself right up to the lead. As he is about 0.3 of a second behind Joe Wright. Looks like Joe might be having a little bit of a connection issue because I don't see him on the racetrack at the moment. Oh, there he is. Now he's back. Here comes Devin Butchino back down to the low side. He's got some help from teammate Brian Merle Jr. Also, we see Matthew Fritz and Joey Hickox in the mix here, and Eddie Morris falling all the way back to the 8th position. Could be Morris is just trying to save his stuff for the end here as Hickox pulls right up in front of that 8 machine. Meanwhile, Jay Stinson and Devin Butchino continue to battle for that 2nd spot. So as these drivers battle side by side like they are, it's allowing Joe Wright to continue to pull away. Lead is now just over 0.5 second. We are about almost 10 laps to the stage. Joe Wright trying to take those stage points away from some of the drivers who are battling for that final position at Phoenix. Big push there from the Neon Boys up on that high lane as, ooh, looks like Matthew Fritz may have been up in the wall just a little bit right there. Running a bit too much of a high line as we see the 90 of a Lynch give a shove. A bump draft to the 31 of Jay Stinson down into turn number 3. As the field is quickly approaching the end of stage with Joe Wright still out in front, but Jay Stinson now starting to run down that 82 machine. How about Brian Merle Jr. coming up into the mix here as well? Jr. still searching for his first SCSRA win. And Joe Wright makes his way down onto pit road. So maybe that's why we saw Eddie and Matt Allen on pit road as well. So we saw Eddie Morris lead some laps, then fall to the back. And I think that's what Morris's idea was, try to save a little bit of fuel. Doesn't really sound like he's saving too much fuel in that 8 machine, as yeah, now he's going to make his way down on the pit road as well. Ooh, issues for Matt Allen. Like he was trying to come back onto the racetrack and just looped it around, trying to, almost looped it around, I should say. Trying to get that truck back up to speed. So Devin Butchino out in front. As the laps are winding down in the stage. Did some of these drivers save enough fuel to make it to the end? See Eddie Morris off of pit road. Eddie did lose a lap. Doesn't look like Joe Wright lost a lap. He's still... Oh, no, he did lose a lap. I take that back. He was just out in front of Eddie Morris. Now Devin Butchino out on... or down onto pit road. Well, Jay Stinson out in front. John O'Lynch sits in second. And now it looks like Stinson's going to be coming down onto pit road. And O'Lynch stays out for another lap. Here comes Hitchcox down on the pit road. Oh, Hitchcox locks him up on the pit road. Almost gets into the back of Stinson. What a save. He had that thing completely locked up and sideways. So O'Lynch, Fritz, Chuck Balance, Rick Ward, and Ryan Gomes left to pit. And I believe Gomes might be trying to save enough to make it to the end without stopping. You hear him like running 3/4 throttle here. Soft as he can be on the gas. And that tells me that 55 is trying to stretch it to the end as John O'Lynch now makes his way down onto pit road. Looks like it's going to be fuel only. Oh, he's taking tires. So tires for the 90 machine. Looks like fuel only for everybody but Eddie Morris. As here comes Matthew Fritz coming down to pit road after leading a lap. So I'll put Chuck Balance up into the lead. Again, Ryan Gomes currently running much slower than anybody else on the racetrack. Just ran a 45.0. Put it in perspective, actually ran a 44.9, so almost a 45-second lap where Eddie Morris, who's running in 5th currently, just put down a 41.2. So almost 4 seconds a lap quicker, these two, while they're battling side by side, than Ryan Gomes. However, Gomes does have over a 10-second gap to the two behind him, so if he can save fuel and make it to the end and get those 10 stage points, that will be huge for him on his journey to Phoenix. No, it looks like he's... Oh, no, he's going to stay out here. I thought he was coming down on the pit road. It looks like he is going to stay out for at least one more lap. Same thing with Chuck Balance, another driver saving some fuel here at the end. Doing all he can to hold on to this top spot. It looks like Balance is not going to be able to make it to the end on fuel as he dips down on the pit road. See a little bit of damage to the right side of that 41 as well. So does that mean Gomes is going to have to come on the pit road? Or does Gomes have enough fuel to make it to the end? Nope, Gomes is peeling. Oh, he missed pit road. Gomes misses pit road. And now Eddie Morris is going to get himself around Ryan Gomes right here, as Gomes, I believe, is completely out of fuel. Although I believe pit road is now closed. Yes, pit road would be closed, so Ryan Gomes is in trouble here if he's going to try to get on the pit road. I don't know if he's got enough fuel to make it around again. As Eddie Morris comes across the stripe. And this will be the final lap of the stage. Eddie Morris out in front of Devin Bucchino by almost 5 seconds. That's because Eddie took tires on that pit stop. Devin did not. As they come down to the stripe, Eddie Morris is going to be your stage winner. As the caution now flies. Eddie Morris getting your stage win. Devin Bucchino comes in second. Matthew Fritz, Brian Merle Jr., Joseph Wright, Jay Stinson, Joey Hickox, John Lynch, Matt Allen, and Blaze Richardson getting the final stage point, while Eddie Morris gets that very important playoff points as well. And this time we'll be sure to wait until Eddie pits before we drag him down to the room here. But a tough break for Gomes, who is trying to save fuel, trying to get himself in a position to win the stage and get himself up towards where he needs to be to lock himself into the playoffs. I imagine we'll see the entire field come down pit road again. No, that's not smoke you see off the back bumper of the 8 machine. The track is incredibly dusty. That's another thing these drivers have to deal with, is the dirt on the racetrack. So as the field makes their way down onto pit road, gets their service done. Eddie, I'm not sure if Eddie's going to take tires here. He took tires on the green flag stop. I don't know if he's going to try to save a set for later, or if he's he missed his stall by just a little bit. Right side's up in the air. Is Devin going to beat him off? Because Devin did not miss his pit stall, and Eddie is going to lose the lead coming off a pit road. We're going to pull Eddie Morris down into the booth and talk to him here. Eddie, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Hey, brother. How's it going?
Good, man. At least this time I waited until after you got your pit stops done.
I kind of wish you'd have waited and just went ahead and done it, man. Last time I beat Devin out on pit road. This time he got me, so maybe do it next time before I hit the pits. I don't know.
Well, great job here, getting the stage win, getting those 10 bonus points there. And I'm going to change the color now because of those 10 points. You've officially locked yourself into Phoenix based off of points. So congratulations on that. And man, that's got to feel good knowing that you'll be racing for a championship next week.
Oh, for sure, man. Pretty stoked about that. I had no idea I could even do that with a stage win, so appreciate that. Took a gamble there, man. I took some tires on that caution because everybody was just going to do a splash. That's what we all agreed on. Then I was thinking, man, like a 2-second fall off on these things, it's insane, you know. So I didn't know if any of those Venom boys or anybody else would get an idea to take 4, so I figured I would definitely try that strategy, and it worked. I ate the crap out of those tires, though. I had 84% on them last time I come in, so after the ones I changed. But yeah, man, crazy strategy. Everything's working pretty good so far, so hopefully we can finish the race up and talk to you again later.
Absolutely. Just to give you an update where you were on points, you were almost 20 points ahead of Blaze Richardson, who only got 1 stage point. And with D. Wright not being here and Stinson falling back as well, yes, you are mathematically into Phoenix as of right now. So again, congratulations. See, you just topped off your fuel, and good luck the rest of the race. Hopefully we'll talk to you again at the end.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, brother.
Have a good one.
You too, man.
So that was your stage winner, Eddie Morris. We're going to restart from the back here as we have the lights off on the pace car. We get ready to go back green flag racing. It's been wild since the drop of the green flag, but fortunately we haven't had any cautions due to cause yet. As Devin Butchino takes the outside lane on this restart, putting John Lynch down on the bottom. Joe Wright, Joey Hickox, row 2. Jay Stinson, Brian Merle Jr. back in row 3. Green flag back in the air. We are back racing, and a big jump for Devin Butchino up on that high lane as he brings Joey Hickox with him. Joe Wright trying to jump up to the high lane, trying to get the momentum down into turn number 1. While the tires are fresh, we see Joe Wright get a huge run down the backstretch. Then a big block from the 90 of Lynch. I'm sure Joe's not going to be too happy with that one. To come off of turn number 4, Devin Butchino starting to pull away just a little bit from the rest of the field. And while we've got a moment and looks like everybody's starting to spread out a little bit, let's do a little bit of what I like to call pump up the intensity. See a Go Cheese 47 by Michael Provolt in the chat there. As Joe Wright moves around Joey Hickox up to the lead. Joey was able to lead a couple laps there. Now here comes Joey back down to the inside of Joe. It's the Joe and Joey show off a turn at number 4. As they come down to the stripe, it looks like Joe Wright's going to have the nose over Joey Hickox. And then Jay Stinson back in the 3rd position. Normally we have Miss Hickox in the chat here tonight, rooting the team on. I don't see her in here tonight, but sure she's at home watching these Venom boys as they currently run 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 8th. And Joey doing what he was doing earlier in the race, just continuing to lead and pull away here up front. A little further back, we see Devin Butchino trying to work down underneath O. Lynch here. He's got his teammate Brian Merle Jr. right behind. And here comes Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence into the mix here as well. Cheeseburger up in the 7th. Devin dives right down to the bottom, trying to get a little bit of a push here from his teammate Junior. Now Stinson moves up to the high side, and he's going to try to take over that 2nd position. Great battles all over the racetrack here. We are quickly approaching halfway. With Joe Wright out in front by over a second. Here comes Devin Butchino down on the low side, trying to take that position back away. Now the field's starting to get a little bit tighter. A little more drafting being done here as we see Devin Butchino trying to get around Jay Stinson for that 2nd position. I apologize for the little bit of quietness here as I'm trying to get the points figured out here. So we try to figure out who moves on to the race at Phoenix at the end of the race for you. Right now, Brian Merrill Jr. racing Joey Hickox back here pretty hard, using a bit of, look at the side draft that Junior's trying to pull on the 3 here, trying to pull that 3 truck backwards and move himself forwards. Now, Devin Butchino solidly around Jay Stinson. Brian Merle Jr. is going to tuck back in line. Now he's going to dive down to the bottom underneath Stinson. Further back, Joey Hickox still trying to move himself forwards here. And Ryan Fritz trying to get himself in a position here tonight where he can lock himself into the race at Phoenix. Joey Hickox now working down to the inside of Brian Merle Jr. This battle between Junior and Hickox has been pretty intense the last few laps. So looking at the Joseph Wright out to the lead over Devin Butchino by 15 hundredths of a second, but here comes Butchino battling down back to the inside. And Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence, Ryan Gomes. Ryan Gomes trying to get himself back in a position here. Ryan Gomes is in trouble right now. Two drivers that are mathematically eliminated unless they get a win here is Ryan Gomes and the 127 of Matt Allen. Allen runs in the 7th position. Gomes is back in the 8th position. As they run right now, your top 4 as they run right now are Devin, Eddie, Matthew Fritz, and Blaze Richardson. And that would be your final 4 if the race was to end right now. Now we know there's still almost 30 laps to go. These two are battling it out. Devin Butchino and Joseph Wright. But look at Stinson. Stinson's not going away. Stinson is right back there in that 3rd position. is not going away right now. The battle for the lead continues here. These two continue to battle side by side, and now Devin's going to tuck back in line because those two side by side is just allowing Stinson to reel them right in. Devin still wants the lead here. He's trying to push this as much as he can, trying to get this lead away from Joe Wright. And fortunately, these two driving side by side, all it's doing is allowing them to burn up their tires and let the rest of the field catch right up. Right now, everybody's kind of just spreading out. We take a look here from the blimp. We're seeing the field just a little bit more spread out now than we saw in the first run. I think a few drivers might be trying to save a little bit of tires or save fuel. We saw that really didn't work out in the first run, being shorter. We see Eddie Morris back in the 11th position. Not able to catch back up, but as I mentioned, he's already locked himself in to the playoffs, to the next round. Devin still just hanging there. But here comes Stinson and Hickox into the mix here. Now the field starting, these 5 right here. Our top 5 now under a blanket. As Butchino now trying to still trying to take that lead away from Joe Wright. I think Joe Wright's going to get the bonus point for leading the most laps here. As Devin Butchino now jumps up the high side. Joe Wright, Jay Stinson, Joey Hickox, Matthew Fritz all hit pit road. And that's going to allow Eddie Morris to move up into the 3rd spot. We see the 55 of Ryan Gomes, who is currently a lap down. He is looking for a caution to get himself in a position here to move himself to the playoffs. But as of right now, he is going to be eliminated unless he can get himself back onto the lead lap. And the caution was to come out with just 5 laps to go. Devin Butchino out in front of Matt Allen by almost 5 seconds as now Butchino comes down on the pit road. Here comes Matt Allen down on the pit road. Eddie Morris is going to get out in front. He's going to continue to lead here. Now Gomes in front of Eddie here. He is officially back on the lead lap. Although we do see Blaze Richardson, who is also on the tail end of the lead lap. Both Blaze Richardson and Ryan Gomes are in danger. Although, here comes Eddie Morris on the pit road. Both Gomes and Blaze Richardson actually have pit, so I take that back. They are not a lap down. They are just on the tail end of the lead lap. As Eddie Morris comes down pit road, that's going to give the lead back to Joseph Wright. As you can see, the hornet's nest of trucks behind him. Eddie Morris trying to just getting tires on that truck now as Joe Wright comes down across the stripe, and Eddie Morris is going to lose that lead. As there goes Joe Wright down into turn number 2. And Eddie just making his way off of pit road now. He's got to wait all the way till the backstretch before he can get himself back onto the racing surface. But like I said, Eddie's already locked into Phoenix next week. He's really not worried about getting the win here tonight. Kevin Brown in the chat here. Kevin, good to see you. Kevin ran the Doghouse Racing League just before this one, and unfortunately got caught up in one of the big ones there. But if you haven't checked that one out, that was an intense race from start to finish. You can find that in the Doghouse Racing League. Our second race of the season from Talladega. Joe Wright out in front of Jay Stinson by almost 2 seconds. Again, Joe not in the playoffs anymore, just trying to get a victory here for bragging rights. However, Jay Stinson currently in the playoffs and trying to get himself locked in to Phoenix next week. Right behind me, see Devin Butchino, Brian Merle Jr. trying to get his first win of his SCSRA career. Has shown a lot of speed the last few weeks. His only real win in the SCSRA has come in the All-Star race, but has not won an official race here in the SCSRA. So he's trying to get that done here before the end of the season. Plus, he's been knocked out of the playoffs, so he's just trying to get some bragging rights for himself. With 20 laps to go, Joe Wright now 2 seconds out in front of the rest of the field, and we can see everybody just kind of settling in now. Early in the race, we saw him 2, 3, 4 wide at times. Now we're seeing everybody just kind of relaxing. They are having a fun little race here as well, and again, this is the last race before they move on to the season finale next week at Phoenix. 2 drivers have locked themselves in. That'd be Devin Bucciano with his win last week, and mathematically Eddie Morris with the stage win. That's why those 2 drivers are highlighted in orange. Drivers that are just in trouble right now looking for a win. You've got Matt Allen, currently runs back in the 11th position. He needs a win here tonight to lock himself into Phoenix. Ryan Gomes tried staying out earlier, trying to use a little bit of strategy to get some stage points. Unfortunately, did not work out in his favor. He's in a position of being eliminated because he gained no stage points. Another one, Matthew Fritz, in a must-win situation. Coming in 6 points below the cut line. Working with his teammate here, Joey Hickox, to try to get himself up towards the front and hopefully lock himself into the playoffs. Jay Stinson's doing everything he can right now. He had a good stage. Finished 6th in the stage, got himself 5 points. Matthew Fritz finished 3rd in the stage, got himself 8 points. So a couple drivers doing what they could at the stage to get some points here to make this really interesting here at the end. Stinson makes his way around Brian Merle Jr. up into the 3rd position. And he's trying to run down Devin Bucciano. And so far, this race has belonged to Joseph Wright. The unfortunate thing is a couple drivers who need bonus points lost a couple points here tonight. There is a bonus point given to the drivers that have a 0x at the end of the race. And we saw Ryan Gomes miss pit road, drove through the grass. So he lost his 0x bonus point. And then another driver, Matt Allen, who really needed the points here tonight, almost spun out going off of pit road. And that caused him to lose his points as well. So, couple drivers in some trouble here as we are just under 15 laps to go. Joe Wright out in front of Devin Bucciano by 1.3 seconds, but that lead is shrinking quickly. We take a look here at the Delta. You see the lead was starting to grow a little bit. Now it's been shrinking the last few laps. To your last 10 laps on the board. And now it's 1.2 seconds back to Devin Bucciano. And that lead is continuing to shrink. It's now under 1 second as Devin continues to close in. So the bonus points for finishing the race with a 0x is 3 bonus points. So 2 drivers in playoff positions lost those 3 bonus points that they needed. Right now, Joe Wright is in trouble with coming to 10 laps to go. Devin Butchno's continuing to run down that 82 machine. Devin's there. You can see that interval is now just 0.2 of a second. A little further back, we see Joey Hickox, Brian Merle Jr., and Matthew Fritz all battling it out back here. Of course, Fritz, a playoff driver, lost those 3 bonus points. I'm sorry, he did not lose those. It was Allen that lost those points. So Fritz still has those points. He's trying to get himself in a position to get the win here tonight, or at least, put himself in a position to move on to Phoenix next week. Devin's there. Devin's down to the inside with 9 laps to go. This is a battle for the lead. Devin Butchno to the inside. Joe Wright up on the high side. They are side by side, door to door down the backstretch. Again, this does not change the playoff picture at all, as Devin's already locked in and Joe is knocked out. Coming to 8 laps to go. Well, further back, Matt Allen, Eddie Morris battling it out. Allen battling for every point he can get here. Meanwhile, Joe Wright back out and starting to pull back away from Devin Butchnow. Needs to continue to duke it out here. This time by, we'll have just 5 laps to go when they cross the stripe, so Butch doing everything he can, putting the pressure on Joe, trying to force him into a mistake. Right now, Joe just has nerves of steel battling with the 68. These two are teammates. They come off of turn number 4. Now Devin to the door, side by side to the stripe. 5 laps to go. Meanwhile, while this is going on, Stinson is closing. Lap after lap, these two running side by side is allowing that 31 to catch up. And now that he's got a draft of the two trucks in front. Of course, those two running side by side, that's pushing a much bigger wake. This is a fixed setup. In the chat, we were asked if it was a fixed or open setup. It's a fixed setup, and right now, these drivers are putting on a show as Jay Stinson is now within 1 second, trying to lock himself into the playoffs. He's there. You can see him quickly approaching our top 2. Joe dives back down to the inside. This is what Jay wants to see. Stinson wants to see these two battling side by side, because the more side by side they run, the slower that these two are going. There's Nancy Hickox. Haven't seen her in the chat all race long, and she comes in right here at the end when the intensity is starting to pick up. Joe right back to the lead, but Jay Stinson now within a half second of our leaders as Devin crosses him over and drives down the backstretch. Coming to 2 laps to go. Devin Buccino out in front now. Oh, Joe Wright hits the wall. Right in the wall. That's going to allow Stinson to dive down to the inside and put the 31 up into the 2nd position. Now, is there enough time with 2 laps to go to run down Devin? Devin's starting to pull away just a little bit as these two run side by side. How much damage did that give the 82 machine? We see the damage on the side as now he's trying to cross over the 31. Down the backstretch they come. Here comes Hickox and Matthew Fritz into the picture now. Joe back down to the inside of Stinson. And that's allowed Buccino to pull away by over a second. White flag is in the air for Devin Buccino. 1 lap to go. Joey Hickox now looking down underneath Joe Wright. Almost some contact. They're door to door, wheel to wheel through turns 1 and 2. Hickox is going to have the advantage off of turn number 2. That damage is really slowing down that 82 machine. Stinson, though, is going to run out of time as Devin Buccino now makes his way down into turn number 3. And through turns 3 and 4 off of turn number 4. Devin Buccino is going to win here at Auto Club. Jay Stinson going to come in 2nd. Joe Wright 3rd. Joey Hickox and Matthew Fritz, your top 5. Now it's going to take me a few minutes to figure out the points here as Devin Buccino is going to make his way around for his victory lap. Devin makes his way to the start-finish line where they're going to take their... Oh, he's going to drive right through the grass. He's not even going to wait for the picture. He's just going to celebrate immediately through the grass here. As Devin Buccino sweeps the round of 8. as he gets himself in line here for the victory picture. Now he's going to celebrate some more here at Auto Club. What a finish. What a race, and a way to close out the round of 8. As Devin Butchno takes his victory lap here, we'll see if we can figure out what the final standings are here. How about that? Devin Butchno getting the sweep of the round. He's going to park that thing right in victory circle here. But not before burning it down just a little bit more. Let's pull in our top 3 here. We'll talk to our top 3. We got our cameras set up here. We'll pull in our 3rd place finisher, Joe Wright. Oh, Joe, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, man.
Man, what a run for you here tonight. You led the most laps, had a stout truck, but just not enough there at the end. What happened there? Did you end up burning it off there a little bit, or what happened? I know you got into the wall before that or after that, but it looked like you kind of burned yourself off a little bit.
I got out there. I got about a 2-second lead there off the second pit stop, and I tried to, save that right front as best I could, and that's what gave me the ability to race with Devin there. He pit a lap after me, and he had a better line, better saving of the tires throughout the entire run. So he did what he had to do to win it. I threw it down and see what we could do with it, but came up a little short. It's okay. It was fun.
It looked like a fun race. It looked like you guys were having a blast out there, especially running side by side like that towards the end of the race. Running side by side like that, were you concerned about Stinson running you guys down there at the end?
Yeah. I was going for the win. It didn't. I'm out of the playoffs, so it's just for me it was all about that W. And hanging on Devin's door, little crossover moves. It was fun racing, good times. Shout out to the Neon guys. Good job to everybody tonight, except for Eddie, who made a bad decision. But everybody else, great job.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations on the podium here tonight. Before I let you go, though, anyone you want to thank, any shots you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, shout out to you, Josh, for coming out here every week and doing this for us still. I know what a drain it can be and how boring it can get, but man, you do a great job every week. I watch it back, so thanks for doing that, and shout out to all the pussies who left.
Man, great job here tonight. And
I say that on the broadcast.
Yeah, you just did. So I have, I can't go back and edit it or anything like that. So, but man,
they know who they are.
Great run again. Great run here tonight. And next week at Phoenix, how do you like your chances? I try to play spoiler with the win there.
I'm gonna keep trying. We'll see.
Well, again, congratulations, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Later.
That was your 3rd place finisher, Joe Wright. Let's bring in your 2nd place finisher, Jay Stinson. Jay, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Hey, what's going on, Josh? How you doing, buddy? I got you.
Man, what a run for you here, though. Coming up a little bit short of the win, coming home in 2nd, but had a bit of a run there coming down to the end. Talk us through your race there, especially coming down to the end there.
Man, it was we've been talking about it all day. We needed to finish a certain spot in stage and in the race to get myself and my teammate Fritz into the final four. I think we did everything we needed to do tonight to make that happen. So that was the goal overall. Got to thank my teammates, Joey Hickox, John Lynch, Fritz, Venom Racing, and everybody for helping us make this happen and getting us in. But yeah, I saved a little bit. I know Joe got out to a big lead. I was trying to save, but caught me. And then about 10 to go, I started pushing a little bit more and started reeling on me. And I caught Joe on the back end, about 2 to go, and it slowed me down and gave enough time to get out, and I just couldn't run him back down after that. I don't know if I'd have been able to run him down anyway, but it would have been closer.
Yeah, it looked like you guys were using a little bit of a drafting technique, even though it's not Super Speedway. You guys were really working hard together there, and you did all you could do. I mean, looking back on it, is there anything you might have been able to do a little bit different to put yourself in a better position?
I really don't think so. Maybe go a lap sooner, maybe 2 laps sooner, but then, I don't know if I'd had enough for the end. So I was pretty satisfied where I was finishing. Got good stage points and needed this second place or third place somewhere in there to make sure I got to the final four. So, no, I can't really think of anything I would have done different. I think it went to plan, and I just, again, really appreciate my teammates for coming up with the strategy and then following through with it. It was a great race day for Venom.
Awesome, Jen. Well, before we let you go, anyone else you want to thank? Any shots you got to give here tonight?
Of course, you for broadcasting, man. We love going back and watching these things. You do a great job. It's always fun to just sit down, relax, and watch. And you always do a great job of presenting this league and making it fun. I want to thank Blue Ridge Auto Group, Flatwoods, H&H Tractor Works. And then again, just my team. Wouldn't be here without them, and I really appreciate all their help and dedication for this season.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations on the run-up position, and good luck. I'm trying to get the points together to figure out where everybody's standing as we interview. So, again, good luck if you made it next week to Phoenix, and we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, one more shout out, Eddie Morris Customs. Appreciate you guys putting this league on for us. Devin for taking the time out of his normal life to get this thing set up and making this league happen. So, appreciate everybody for getting that done.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, bye.
So that was your second place finisher, Jay Stinson. Let's bring in the man of the hour, the sweep of the round of 8, Devin Butchnow. Devin, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, brother.
Man, what a run here tonight. Sweeping the round and getting yourself locked in, obviously, to Phoenix, but kind of avoiding anybody else automatically locking themselves into Phoenix as well. Talk us through your race, because it seemed like an up and down race for you there.
Yeah, Auto Club has never been one of my best tracks in any league that I've ran, doesn't matter what car. Just haven't been able to get this place to click. I was looking back. I've had finishes here of 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, so I figured we'd be in that range. But kind of like a lot of tracks before, man, just like, the Homesteads or the Kansases where you can run the top or the bottom. I kind of try and eat up that Harvick line, be a bottom feeder, and the only way for that to really work is you need the long runs. We somehow got the runs we needed. I think we were a little faster than Joe, but when it came to completing the pass, I was really worried about that. We got to him before the last pit stop and couldn't pass him, and then Stinson caught us, and the same exact thing happened again. Didn't know how we were going to complete the pass. We really had to set it up out of 2, stay side by side, and try and complete it through 3 and 4. But just incredible battle. Happy the race went green the way I race these tracks. That's the only way I think we could have got it done. Joe was really quick. Jay was really quick. Eddie was really quick as well. But yeah, everything got just played into our hands, man. It was a heck of a battle, and really, really good racing with Joe.
Well, I'm going to take a second now, and unofficially, our top 4 for next week is Devin Butchnow, Eddie Morris, Matthew Fritz, and Jay Stinson. So there's your final 4 going to Phoenix. Unofficially, that's just off of my math, but I think it's pretty close. So
Venom versus Neon?
Venom, you know what? It is. It's going to be Venom versus Neon. Didn't we have something like that a couple years ago? It was Penske versus Gibbs or something like that? So, man.
Yeah, those guys deserve to be there, man. They've been fast all season. We're happy to have them as a part of the league. they've shown that they have incredible long run speed. It doesn't matter what track we've been to. If you're falling back at the end of the run, you're probably going to have the 31, the 3, or the 29, 21 behind you. They're really, really good at saving tires, and that's how Jay almost got us here today. But it should be a fun race at Phoenix if I remember how good the race was last year.
So that brings me to my next question. How do you like your chances at Phoenix next week?
I really enjoyed the flat tracks in the trucks. Hoping I have notes from last year somewhere. Felt like we were in a good spot before that late caution came out. I remember Belk was really fast, but riding in his tire tracks in second, you can definitely learn a lot. So we're going to have to try and dig deep in the memory and remember what we did last year, because we had a pretty sporty truck. But, we've never raced with the Venom guys at Phoenix in the trucks. There's a long week to get any practice laps you want to get in before that. I think it should be a really good race, man. They've all the other three guys, they've proven that they deserve to be there. They've had really strong seasons.
Yeah, it seems like everybody who's up in the playoffs this season really deserved it well. So, again, congratulations on the win, Devin. Before we let you go, though, anyone you want to thank, any shots you want to give here tonight?
Yeah, I want to thank you, Josh, for coming out here and doing this for us. I really appreciate it. Can't wait to go watch the last 20 laps or so. Got to thank everyone at Morris Customs, which everyone is just Eddie. He does a really great job on these schemes. Beautiful trucks and cars out there this season. Level Up Subs, New Craft Fine Jewelry Design, Dev Sports Cards, McKinleyville Barbershop, and everyone that's part of this league. Man, it's been I think on track wise, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like this may be the best product we've had, from Daytona to now. So I'm excited to finish the season strong with everyone and move forward to season 6, which is crazy to say. We're already going to season 6. I'm really excited.
I know it's going to be an awesome win there as well. So, again, congratulations on the win, Devin, and we look forward to seeing you. See if you can close it out next week at Phoenix.
Thank you, Josh. We'll see you tomorrow night, man.
Have a great night.
You too.
So there you have it, the winner here tonight, Devin Butchino, getting the win and cementing himself here into the round of 4 by sweeping the series. Sweeping the round, excuse me. Again, what a season. What a season so far. We have one race to go next week at Phoenix. And again, unofficially, those top 4 is Devin, Eddie, Matthew Fritz, and Jay Stinson. So Blaze Richardson just barely missing out by 5 points. So it's going to be an exciting one next week at Phoenix. I'm looking forward to it. You can tune right in here live on Intensity Broadcasting next Tuesday night as we round out the season here at Phoenix. Again, thank you everybody for joining us here tonight, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or over on Twitch. We do appreciate you joining us here tonight. Don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe. Check out our partners down below. And as always, as our boy Atlee Atman Weiss would say, over